Peace, this is Common, and you are now watching Toasted. Stay in tune. Love.
Well, my first question, I'm here with you today, and we just had a really good session. It was really awesome to hear some songs off your new album.
Thank you.
And I was wondering, what are your influences for the last album, and how do they differ with the influence of all the other albums you've made in the past years?
Well, you know, a lot of my influences come from just my experiences, like, at that time in my life. Where I've been at, like, as far as creating, well, let's just not even say creating music, where I've been at as far as my life, I've been like, man, let me appreciate these things that I'm doing. I'm really, this is some good things to do, to be able to travel and see things and go out and have some fun sometimes, and, you know, still be able to go to church and read the Bible and still hang out with my daughter and then go watch the game with my guys. It's like all that is who I am. So I've been able to feel really strong within that. And I think, you know, with me experiencing going out sometimes, you know, I felt like, man, I like the way people feel when they dance in the music. You know, it's like a let go feeling. So, you know, I definitely wanted some music that could fit into that arena. So
the influence of this last album is really something like a phase you're in your own life right now.
Yeah, basically, yeah. I guess you summing it up a little better than I just did, but yeah, the influence is basically where I am in my life. Like if you look back at some of my earlier albums, Chicago definitely had a big influence in Chicago still, because it helped shape me. Will continue to have an influence, but it was like a direct effect of me being in Chicago and around my friends. You could feel that in my earlier albums, and then at the times when I was dealing with about to be a father, you could feel that experience in the albums. Or times when I got introduced to Fela Cudi and was seeing the world in different ways, you could hear that on like Water for Chocolate, you know. So, or you could hear the influence of Slum Village on like Water for Chocolate. So each album does represent a moment of influence and what's going on in my life. And I've, you know, been traveling and just enjoying the music and doing film, so that's like opening me up.
And like in the albums, you've been working with so many artists, it's such a wide range. Yeah. Are there artists that you want to work with in the future, or that you want to work with again you've worked with before?
Yeah, I would love to work with like a Sade. I love, she's got something real unique, and she doesn't work with everybody, so that's somebody I would love to work with. Yeah, and I'm trying to think of somebody else that I really like. Nas as a rap artist. People I would like to work with again, definitely, like production-wise, the Neptunes, definitely Kanye. Yeah, that's some of the artists that I would love to still do something with. Lauryn Hill too.
All right.
But Kanye and Pharrell are well, Neptunes are two of the producers and production teams that I would love to work with again.
All right, and I just heard you talk about the movies, and I read that you also had written some books, and you're busy with something called the Common Ground Foundation. And aside from everything, how do you find time to do other things, just like being you and being yourself? And
yeah, well, you know, like as far as the children's books, it's something that I'm inspired to do because I love not only writing, but I love to speak to the youth. And like some of my most pleasurable remarks have come from little kids, you know, like, man, saying they like my music, that's just a good feeling. And I decided to write these books, children's books, taking really mature subject matter, but putting them in children's stories so children can relate to them. But I think, you know, no matter what age you are or where you're from, you can relate to the fact, and you need to hear and be reminded of being yourself and loving yourself and seeing who you are. And that's what a lot of the themes deal with as far as the children's books going on. With my foundation, Common Ground, like, the only way I can get it done properly, and now it's getting done very properly, is by having a great team. And I gotta say, you know, the head of my foundation, Jody, has been doing an incredible job. And I feel like, for me, giving back is something you do through a foundation and outside of that. I feel like every day I'm on the street, I should be able to give back. It could be some words, it could be a handshake to somebody, make them feel good about themselves. But my foundation is just an organized way of giving back, and I'm really happy with it. We there to empower the youth through education, through health education, and through life skills. You know, just like teaching them. Because I went to a neighborhood in Chicago that's real rough, and I was doing a event there, and I went and talked to some kids in the neighborhood. I was like, "What y'all need most?" They was like, "Man, we just want jobs." So hopefully we can provide them ways that hopefully Common Ground can help them to know what to do to get jobs in the field that they want, you know, and really learn what they want.
Wow, that's we need more people like you to do that around the world at this moment, because that's a big thing that we really need.
But there's some people doing it, you know, and they don't get a chance to be on TV, but they do it, you know. Some teachers out there is very committed.
Well, just a few questions about your new album, then, because we just heard it, and it was really interesting. What you just said, it sounds like the song Changes that you let us hear. It's kind of, because in that song you're talking to the kids about the future, and so you really believe that they are carrying us to the next world, basically the next thing that we're going to be busy with the next 50 years.
Yeah, I definitely feel, you know, they will be the ones that will set the tone for generations, you know, from generations to come. You know, the youth always have an opportunity to help reshape things, and that doesn't mean that we don't need the elders or the older people and you know, adults. We need it all, but it's like children are so innocent in the way they live, and they just came from God. So to be able to plant seeds with them and, you know, talk to them is really planting seeds for the future, planting seeds for things to grow. Even in the song I say, plant and grow 'em for the young seeds to know 'em. Trees is blowing, we see change in the wind. It's a new day and I gotta take it in. See a black man run, we need him to win. You know?
That's something, again, with an important message you bring. And there are also songs that are a little softer basically on the message they're bringing. I noticed you have a lot of like past influence. I thought the song Make My Day was produced by Mr. DJ, you said? That it had like a 60s influence. It really had the feel like from back in the day when you're driving around in your Volkswagen with a surfboard on top. And is it right that you took a lot of influences from different types of music this time or every time? I don't know.
You know, this album, I can't say I was particularly listening to anything specific. Like, I was just going around. I listened to some music and mostly creating music. But yeah, Make My Day, when you mention it, does have a 60s feel to it. But I like it, and I'm happy that this music just came about. It wasn't like, man, like, okay, I just been listening to this 60s song, let's go do a 60s song. You know, it wasn't that type of direct influence, but even if so, it's still good to be influenced by good music.
Well then, one more question about, of course, the presidential election right now. I mean, I know it's a big thing, and probably everybody's asking about the whole thing with Barack Obama, and how do you think that's going to influence what you're busy with now, the way you speak your mind and are busy with things like that foundation you're working on?
Barack Obama, I believe, his heart and soul is in the right place. So I believe as he achieves the presidential nomination and election, as he, you know, gets to where he's gonna get there, I believe it's gonna provide opportunities for poor people, for middle class, which is disintegrating, but we'll provide for middle class, we'll provide for rich, we'll provide for black, white, Latino, Asian. Native American, and I just feel his heart is in that place that we people will have an opportunity.
It's gonna be a big thing. Probably gonna have a lot of influence on us all. But thank you for the whole session and the show and the music. You seem to be really inspired by the people also listening and telling you about what they think of your music.
Oh yeah.
How much do you work with the producers of your beats and stuff like that? Do you have a lot of contact making the songs together in the studio?
Yeah, well, that's usually how I make the music. Like, I'm there with the producer and he creates something for me right there. I don't know, I feel like I like doing that. I mean, I do have some songs on this album that either Mr. DJ or Pharrell already had produced. And when they hear it, I like it, they'll go back and touch it up. Mm-hmm. But I just like to work with the producers and create like together, like that, like process of going to the studio and I got this idea, I got this, and then you just keep building till you reach that mountaintop. So yeah, it was a lot of creativity going on. I gotta say, Pharrell and Chad, like, they really can get an idea down and snap it into it, and it's just there. They start rolling with it.
Where do you think your album brings you in the hip-hop world at the moment? Where will it place you?
Well, I'm hoping and believing that it will be something that will be looked at as an innovative piece of art, great work, successful work. Man, Common is at a new level now, like quality of sound and notoriety and sales. But I wanted to go there. I want people to understand that, yo, this is just another expression of me, and they can appreciate it and be like, man, I like it.
What do you think is the big difference compared to Finding Forever with your new album, Invincible Summer?
Well, I think Finding Forever had a variety of other different type of subject matter. The producers are definitely different, Neptunes, and then you also have the Neptunes on Invincible Summer, but you have Kanye on Finding Forever. Yeah. So, you know, you get the differences are there. And then Mr. DJ, and I'm dealing with new tempos. You know, it's good.